Allow me to introduce you to Upland River Conservation. And what we're doing is starting out with 5 different project proposals with the view of going to the market looking for funders, investors and partners to get some of this important work underway. The area of intended operation is the headwaters of our streams, largely along the foothills of the Drakensberg Mountains. These areas, without exception, fall in the mapped southern Drakensberg critical water source areas, as acknowledged and identified by government together with various other environmental agents. A number of them also fall in the buffer zone of the Maluti-Drakensberg Transfrontier Park. The idea is to look at the buffer zones. That's the area just outside of those. I'm standing here today on the Mngeni River. This river is arguably South Africa's most important river, in that it has in the region of 6 million people relying on this water, yet it's not one of our biggest rivers, and it doesn't even rise in the Drakensberg itself. It rises in the vicinity of Fort Nottingham. It rises out of Mngeni Vlei, but of course it's contributed to by many tributaries. We are currently standing down off the escarpment. The river's been going some 15 kilometers by the time it gets here. It's midsummer, quite humid and warm. The growth is rank, and if you look at the river behind me, it's flowing really well. It doesn't always look like that. It gets very low towards the end of winter. It's fairly clean and flowing strongly, and we're in a fairly pristine environment, and it's a delight to see the river in this good state. I think you could say that the Upper Mngeni Catchment Project is the flagship project intended for Upland River Conservation. This river has so many different agencies interested and concerned about it, and what we've done is to choose a very small area of 16,000 hectares. To give you an idea, it's about a 60-kilometer line around the perimeter of that catchment. It's in a fairly good state of repair, but there's a lot that can be done, a lot that has already been done, and a lot that can be done in the future. And to take that small area and apply to it the most stringent, let's call them first world measures that go to a great degree of detail in trying to conserve, preserve, and where necessary restore the integrity of this catchment. So these projects are not just about the river channel. The river channel, of course, is critical. A lot of good work has been done on clearing immediate river banks in the super catchment, as I've been calling it. If you look over the shoulder of mine here at the far bank, you can see an example of that. A lot of stumps of wattle trees and grass starting to grow back. Fair number of bare areas that need some attention, but a lot of good work has happened here. But that's the river channel. Of course, looking after a river means going all the way to the top of the hill, looking at the health of the grasslands, the ability of the grasslands to absorb water that would otherwise be runoff, and the propensity of the landscape to absorb water into the aquifers and into the surface sponges, the vleis as we know them in South Africa, the wetlands, and then have that water discharged more gradually and filtered back into the river channel. Keeps the integrity of the river system. So we're looking to focus on this area, provide as much support as possible to landowners, and get them to share with us their ideas, because as farmers and landowners in this catchment, there will be many of them who have an intimate and long history with this place. They will have seen erosion events, they would have seen everything that's happened here. So if we can link that up with the scientific knowledge, and we can have knowledge sharing around what the best practices are in catchment management, we should be able to enhance that and just have the best practices used more widely over a longer period of time, and with patience should translate into at least preserving, if not improving, the flows and the clarity of the water coming out of this critical upper catchment.